Well, hi everybody. Welcome back to What's a Sandwich? All my sandwich fanatics, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I know we got to see a lot of creative sandwiches made from our contest, and you'll get more into that. And I hope all of you made a amazing sandwich yourself, even if you didn't post it. So last month on What's a Sandwich, we had Zach on here, and we got to talking about like what actually defines a sandwich. Are wrap sandwiches, empanadas? I mean, we even got deep into like, some kind of dessert thing, if it was a fucking sandwich or not. But, and I feel like we left that hanging. We didn't really get down to it. So, without further ado, here is the man that's almost like Santa Claus, but if you're not good, he's going to make your bread moldy, Mr. Andy Valde.
Ho, ho, ho. I swear, Ryan, you're like setting the bar every time you give these little intros. Like I couldn't even get my ho, ho, ho out. Oh, man. Wow. Well, thanks so much. Yeah, each episode I'm expecting more and more from these intros. So hello, everybody. Welcome again to another LIVECAST with us. I am super excited for this episode. We today have a friend of mine. His name's Wally Butkevich. He's going to be here with us talking about the best sandwich and booze combinations. So super excited. As always, you can submit your questions and reactions as we go along our discussion in the chat. And my lovely wife, Brittany, who's next to me here. She will be putting poll questions out there and nudging me along the way to answer your questions. But before we get started tonight, I have a really big announcement. Super excited, like Ryan said. Thank you, everybody who is submitting your sandwiches to our contest. In the past week, we've had just like so many cool, creative, even videos, not just photos, of leftover Thanksgiving sandwiches. So I hope everybody had fun with the contest. Our winner, well, actually, before I announce our winner, thank you so much to our sponsors. Ryan, Switch Vision Studios, thank you so much for sponsoring some cool poster prints that will be included in the prize pack. David Carmine, who was with us a few episodes ago, thank you for donating your cookbook, The American Menu. And Frank Lucas, who was also on with us before, thank you, and the Siberium for not only one, not two, but three albums donated to the prize pack. And the third album actually is dropping tomorrow, so it is a fresh cut from the studio. And then Deli Fresh Threads for the stickers, the sandwich spreader, and actually some really cool collectible pins, sandwich pins were donated. And then I know you didn't even submit a photo, Ryan.
I submitted enough.
Yeah, you do. And if you haven't seen Ryan's Cheeto sandwich, you have to go and check that out. And then last but not least, Wayne, you'll get to choose from our online store on Etsy. Anything on the shop is yours. And so I just said the winner without even thinking. So congratulations, Wayne Johnson, for winning our contest. You had 64 likes, 12 comments, and 2 shares. Let me just share this really quickly with everybody, how awesome the sandwich was. Let's see here. So this is, oh shoot, I showed the wrong one. So this is before he closed it. So here's all of his like awesome fillings for the sandwich, and I think
this is like the dead person, and then he mummifies it.
He like did this awesome braided closing mechanism. It's almost like it reminds me of like those like breakfast casseroles or like pastries that you could have. And then when it was done, like, check this out.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
Like I sat there for about 15 minutes staring at it. I'm not gonna lie, I did.
And you could probably make this with just some leftover, like if you didn't use some Pillsbury crescent rolls, that dough, that's probably how you could make that real easy. But so really cool. Congrats again, Wayne. We'll be in touch, and get your prize pack over to you. So let's get moving on to the main chat here. Our booze and sandwich pairings. I have my beer with me for this chat. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on Wally Butkevich. Let's see.
Hey guys.
Hey Wally.
What up, Wally?
Well, I'm just stoked. I appreciate so much you making me a part of this live cast today.
Yeah. Just a little background for everybody. Wally has a page called "It's Better with Booze," and it's a Facebook group. You should all go check it out. I feel like I see a new drink or something that I need to try probably every week from that group. It's so cool. And if anyone's looking to join the group, I did add it to the description of this live video on Facebook. So you should be able to click it and join the group. But Wally, tell us a little bit about you and your page and sandwiches and booze, if anything you got for us.
You know, the idea for the Facebook group actually had its roots from years ago, because I've always enjoyed cooking myself, and I've always been drawn to some of these recipes that had alcohol in it. So the idea started with me writing a cookbook called "It's Better with Booze," and I figured every recipe in there would have some alcohol in there one way or the other. Long story short, just too lazy, never got around to doing the cookbook. So I'm like, hey, make a Facebook group. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. We do some good-natured ribbing for all the seltzer lovers out there. But honestly, the thing is that everybody has their own individual taste and what they like. Some people are beer drinkers, some people are whiskey drinkers, some people are seltzer drinkers. I mean, it's what everyone's personal taste is. Yep.
Hey, real quick, what are we all drinking?
I just spilled a anti-hero, so now I'm drinking a jukebox hero.
Nice. I like that.
I don't think I've had that one. What about you,
those
Andy?
are great. I've got a spotted cow here.
Ooh.
Had to put it in the New Glarus glass. Got to. What do you have, Ryan?
I'm drinking one of Uncle Andy's zombie unicorn.
Nice.
I wonder who would have brewed that. Named Uncle Andy.
Some guy with a mustache.
Huh.
Gotta have that baby in the glass, man.
Oh no, I do.
Yeah, the cool thing about this,
like in a Walt Disney glass, like from the '90s. One of those Mickey. I think this is Pocahontas, like Simba and shit on it.
That's awesome. You can't see the sparkles in there, though. Well, actually, it's probably enhancing that, right? Like that, giving that Disney vibe.
This is the most Disney beer of all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I brewed that beer. If people probably don't care, but yeah, it's got edible glitter in it, which of course is like right up Ryan's alley. But yeah. So hey, cheers, guys.
Cheers to Uncle Andy. So for this show, because we're doing sandwich pairings, I went and got myself a strawberry ice cream cookie sandwich to eat with this beer.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Brittany's jealous because she's been dying for ice cream, and we don't have any here. Well, Wally, let me ask you. I think it's just kind of like one of those questions that we should be doing on every single one of these live episodes. What is a sandwich, in your opinion?
I've actually thought about this quite a bit. I mean, ever since you actually started your group, I started thinking, what makes a sandwich? And I guess the easiest way to put it would be any food stuff that you use to encase other food stuff to enable you to eat it by hand.
I love it.
That's it.
I love it.
Now there are caveats though. For instance, those Smuckers PB&Js, the ones that are crimped out, I don't consider that a sandwich because someone's crimped it and kind of made it into like a pierogi or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My definition of a sandwich is it's a separate component that you are then stuffing something else in,
Okay.
wrapping it, and then eating. That's it.
Okay. So like an empanada, you would say, would fall outside of that.
Empanada would fall outside. It's like a pastry puff, but hot dog would fit. A taco would fit. Here's what's really going to get you. So a taco,
Mm-hmm.
taco's a sandwich.
Yeah, there's
That's
like
not.
yeah, and that's something that we see on the page too. Is like there's like this thing about tacos, and when we first started the page too, I would actually delete the post because I was like, no, this isn't this isn't every food page. This is like, you know, bread with filling. But you know, the more we talk about it, I like there's certain, like, especially hot dogs. Like a year ago from today, I would have said no. There's absolutely no way. But the more we keep talking about it, it seems like a lot of people think that a hot dog's a sandwich. And I know there's some other sandwich pages out there that they'll kick you off if you put that on there.
Gotta keep the controversy alive.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. But well, saying that we were talking about hot dogs and you said you do consider a hot dog a sandwich. What would be kind of your best hot dog booze combination? It could be anything. I mean, what is like your absolute like go-to? If I'm having a hot dog, I'm having this kind of booze with it.
Before I even answer that question, I've got to put out there that there are certain people, and you have your beer drinkers, and that's all they drink. You'll have your whiskey drinkers or their mixed drink drinkers. And the thing is that anything that I tell you is my personal preference, but you know, it's a wide world. It's a wide world of alcohol out there. There are so many things out there. I mean, just look at how many different beers that you've brewed yourself.
I know.
And that's only a small fraction of what's available out there. So it's crazy out there. But back to your question. For me, a hot dog, you got to have a beer. And I tend to stay away from just the regular golden ales. I'm not a PBR old style fan. I like something that's got a little bit more bite, a little bit more. Give me a good lager. Give me IPA. I love an IPA.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm like I don't know. I'm like an old, like literally, like specifically old style or PBR with a hot dog. I just like it. To me, is just like the flavor of the gods right there.
Give me a High Life and a shot of Jameson
with a hot dog.
Yeah.
That's why you're the man, Ryan. I love you, man.
Oh, wait. My Jameson actually was cured in an IPA barrel.
Oh, I've had that one. That is so good.
Yep.
It is so good.
Ryan, you have how many years of bartending? I mean, you've seen probably all kinds of alcohol come through. I mean, is there any like specific, I guess, food and alcohol pairing that you've seen in your bar days? I mean, I'm sure you've seen the drunken bars and I mean everything from A to Z, but anything that stands out?
No, not really anything. One thing that stands out was a shot that was introduced to me.
Okay.
It was called the Chicago style hot dog shot. Now, what this person did is you had a shot of Jameson, a shot of pickle juice, and you put mustard on your finger. First, you rip the shot of JMO, then you lick the mustard off your finger, then you take the shot of pickle juice, and it legit tastes like a hot dog. And really? I have no clue why, but that has to be one of the craziest things I have ever found. Or there was the cheeseburger shot, which the cheeseburger shot was okay, what was it? It was a shot of tequila, a shot of tomato juice, and a shot of pickle juice, and then you had a little bit of on the pickle juice you put mustard on the rim. and then you had a piece of paper or like a plastic thing, and then you'd rip the shot of tequila, pickle juice, or tomato juice, and then you lick the mustard off, and then you crumple up a piece of paper afterwards, and you felt like you ate a McDonald's cheeseburger.
You need to send me both of those recipes, and then I'm going to share them with everybody on the page. That's awesome. Sounds like another video that we need to make.
Well, I just made the video of the 3 Christmas drinks that my wife and I did. So, maybe I'll be doing some of those drinks as well.
Yeah, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And that, like, I was watching that with Brittany, and we're just like, okay, we know our cocktails for the holidays now. So yeah, that was really cool.
We weren't expecting the sugar cookie martini to be so close to a sugar cookie. I guess there's a reason why they call it that. The drunken peanut butter cup was okay, and the eggnog, I'm just a fan of the eggnog to begin with. But yeah, they were all good. It was kind of fun doing it too.
Yeah.
I was laughing with my wife because it's like I'm working as hard as she is, and she's making Thanksgiving dinner. I'm putting these drinks together.
Yeah, there's a little bit of work on both sides. Yeah, no, those were so delicious sounding. I might have all 3. I'm not even kidding for the holidays. So I guess, Ryan, when you're starting to talk about those shots, I started thinking more of like hot dogs and beer and booze and all that. But I guess, Wally, I mean, what if you're trapped at a baseball stadium? I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but if you're stuck at a stadium somewhere,
okay,
what would be your go-to? It could be brew, booze, or liquor, whatever it may be. If you're at a game, what's your go-to?
Whenever I do go to a game, it is beer. Something about the atmosphere of just hanging back with an ice cold cup of beer in your hand there. Now, fortunately, a lot of the ballparks have widened their horizons, so I'll usually get a Goose Island there or something. But like I said, I typically, beer wise, I kind of go through phases and they're kind of seasonal. I mean, hot summer months, I'm into the IPAs. As it starts to get a little bit colder out there, I'm starting to pull out the porters and the stouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, if I'm at a ball game, I'm drinking probably a Goose Island IPA.
Yeah, those are great. What'd you say, Ryan?
312 is usually my go-to at when I went to the Sox game last summer.
Yeah,
they knew me out there. That was pretty bad.
When you said, Wally, that the booze selection is like completely widened at the stadiums, it has. And actually, even we went down to St. Louis for a Cubs game to just kind of go to a different stadium, and St. Louis has, I have never seen, like, I mean, it might as well have been like all premium beer everywhere. Like, yeah, you could get like your cheapo stuff or whatever, but it was incredible. Now they did charge like double, but
sure.
I mean, the selections was very impressive. So yeah,
well, you got to keep in mind too that the macro breweries, who were the Miller, the Bud, and the Coors, they were like the big 3 of beer for a while, and then they get swept up by InBev, and InBev is buying Goose Island, which is now part of Budweiser and all that. So basically, it's like they realize that there is a huge draw for craft beer. Mm-hmm. So bring them all in together, and now that they're all under one umbrella, there isn't any worries about distributorship between the different companies because they all belong to the same company anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. Well, I guess kind of moving on to a slightly different subject. One of my absolute favorite sandwiches of all time is a Reuben. And up until we were planning this episode, I hadn't really stopped and thought to myself, like, would I have booze with a Reuben? Have I had booze with a Reuben? I have, but I feel like it's been not calculated. So I sat back and kind of thought to myself, what would I have? And for me, it would definitely be like an Irish red, or maybe even a stout or something like that. I just feel like, I don't know. I love Reuben so much because of the richness of the flavor, I think. Mm-hmm. To pair that to me would be take another really rich thing so that they don't conflict with each other. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you like Reubens? What would you have if you were having a Reuben and pairing?
I gotta tell you, Reuben just happens to be my favorite sandwich as well. And for the reasons that you had said, Reuben has bold flavors. And when you have something that has bold flavors, you can pair that with something that is equally bold. Where you start to run into problems is you have something very light and you're going to throw this barrel-aged bourbon at it. Okay, well, you're going to enjoy the hell out of that barrel-aged bourbon, but whatever you're eating is going to taste like crap. So it's kind of like back in the day, you always heard about wine pairings. And they said, white wine, white food, white sauce for pasta, that's all kind of stayed together. And when you started going into the steak or the salmon or the red sauce with pasta, that's when you moved to the red wine. Which, as you start to try different things, you start to understand more, because you start to understand that the flavors will complement each other and make both of them even better. But the opposite of that is also true, in that if you're a red wine drinker and you don't really care for the white, you're going to drink the red wine no matter what you're eating.
Yeah.
But back to the Reuben, I fully agree with you. It's got a bold enough flavor where it's going to stand up to where you don't have to just get like a golden ale. You can go with the IPA. You can go with a nice lager. You can throw that porter or that stout at it, and it stands up well and it complements each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, what do you think?
I'm racking my brain for that drink and I can't think of it. I was just making them the other day. It's the one with the orange peel in it, and you put some bourbon in there. Orange peel.
Old fashioned.
That's it. Old fashioned and a Reuben. That was like
that's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Because I feel like that orange peel and everything's gonna lighten that kick of the bourbon to where it's just gonna complement that Reuben so well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I never would have thought of that, but the more we're talking about it, like, yeah, that boldness of that flavor would probably be amazing with that. So I'm gonna remember that for next time.
Holy crap, guys! So I'm cooking right now, and like the last of the turkeys. I feel like today is like the final day of anything that's left. And so what I did is, because we're sitting here talking about booze, and I'm looking at my beer, so I poured my beer into the frying pan with the last of this turkey. Holy shit. This is like scrumptious. Like,
right?
Like the strawberry beer with this turkey.
Oh, actually, yeah, I could see that. Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here, I'm just kind of like letting it like simmer in it and just kind of like soak up that flavor.
You think about it though, it really shouldn't surprise you, because how many times you're eating turkey dinner and you get a piece of turkey with that cranberry next to it?
Yeah. They
go great together.
Absolutely, yes. And shout out to I don't know if it was mom or dad. Whoever made the cranberry for ours, that was Christmas in my mouth. At least it felt like Christmas. Wow.
I don't know, but someone in here actually
said it tastes like crack. I guess she knows what crack tastes.
No, you said that.
Brittany.
I sense a new Facebook group starting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tastes like crack.
Tastes like crack. Whoa, okay. We got to jump on that. No. That's yes. Well, and I've even done I've done a little bit of cooking with beer. I love Fistmas. That comes out, I think,
Revolution
around this time. Yeah.
Yep.
I've done a ham with Fistmas, and that's just like, so good. There's just so much flavor in beer, and And then if you're going to cram that in a sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
you know, best of both worlds.
So a couple of years ago, we had a gravy, what's it called? A gravy off between like a few of us that on Thanksgiving, and I won, and I used all like the turkey drippings in it and everything, and then I took PBR, dumped a whole can of PBR, and all I did was like a brown gravy packet from Walmart, PBR. I don't remember if I put bourbon in it or not, but then just the turkey drippings in it, and I just let that go. Man, everybody was going crazy over that gravy, and the other guys didn't get touched at all.
It's crazy. Like once you lock in the right flavors of something, and then it's like, well, how did I do that? And then you have to figure out how you did it if you didn't write it down or didn't have a recipe. But yeah, during this time of year, like some stouts that I love are Founders. I love their breakfast stout. There was one Christmas where I think Dad and I drank the whole pack of them that morning, which was set us up for a sleepy day. But and then Dragon's Milk. I love Dragon's Milk. I think
Dragon's Milk is awesome.
And actually, just recently for Thanksgiving, I had I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, and I'd have to look it up. But it was this beer by New Holland, and it's a limited release. But it was just such a great flavor. Well, okay, so what is that?
I don't know, but I'm going to use it. I found it in the cabinet.
Where do you find that? That's awesome. But anyway, yeah, I just love like the holidays and the different beers that just kind of are around this time because it's cold out and you want flavor and you want to be what again, Ryan,
red, which we will have on here soon.
Guess anybody want to guess what I'm doing an internet search on after this live cast?
Do you know where you got that?
No.
Okay. So everyone, look it up. If you find it, let me know. That's awesome.
Hey, if someone out there watching wants to Google it and just like drop the link in the comments, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be sweet. We won't send Brittany off to do that. So I guess, man, all right. I got kind of off track here on my list of questions, but
well, tell you what. Before you go to your next question, let me turn the tables on you guys. I'm going to throw a sandwich at you, and you tell me what you're drinking with it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I like this game.
Let's go with, popular sandwich. Let's go with a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh. Okay.
I think it's going to be like a shitty Miller Lite and maybe like well whiskey.
And a bottle both at the same time?
No, just a shot of well whiskey, like a whiskey
shot
or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be my go-to. Because the Miller Lite's probably going to be warm because it's coming out of a cooler.
Oh, there you go.
Sitting in line waiting for that Philly cheesesteak.
There you go.
Yeah.
Red wine, Karen?
Yeah. I feel like for me, I'd have to isn't Yingling from out that way? I feel like I'd have to get one
East
of those.
Coast, yeah.
I think that would be what I'd pick if I was out there and ordering one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, how about you?
If I'm not drinking a beer, and I know that I've been on beer quite a bit here, I'm probably having a bourbon on the rocks.
Bourbon on the rocks?
Yeah.
That.
And right now, I am super hot. Ever since I discovered it a couple years ago, Angel's Envy. I am crazy about Angel's Envy.
Yeah, I do see frequent posts on the page about that. So tell us a little bit about Angel's Envy and.
Well, you know what? I mean, we started doing different bourbons, and obviously, you can spend as little or as much as you want to spend or don't want to spend on these things. But I happened to be at Benny's, and I said, you know what? I mean, I've had the Knob Creek, and I've had the Buffalo Trace, and I said I've got all these. I said I'm looking for something a little bit different. And the guy working there turned me on. He said, you know what? This one's a little bit different because they aged the bourbon in port barrels,
Okay.
and it has a really good finish to this bourbon. It's super smooth, it finishes well. Since then, I've got the bourbon, I've got the rye, and the rye is aged in rum casks. And then I get their cask strength, so you got a higher alcohol content, some more bold flavor, and their cellar collection, which was in Madeira port casks. But
Wow.
it's I'm starting to see that more and more where they're cross infusing. I mean, we just showed you the bottle of Jameson's where they're actually taking it and letting it age in barrels that they had an IPA in. So I think they've discovered a whole new world of flavor enhancements out there. And what a day to be a beer drinker nowadays. Because I mean, when I was growing up, I grew up in the city, and it's like every block all we saw was the old style signs. That was the staple.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's my draw away from it now, because that's all we had when I was younger, to whereas now it's like this huge explosion of things out there. And you crazy young shits going back to the PBRs, we oldsters just don't understand it.
It's got to be the colors.
It's got to be.
I mean, I even drink Busch Light, man, and High Life, and
yeah. Someone found those. Someone found it. So it's
all right.
Specialshit.com.
Thank you.
Doesn't surprise me.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, Zach, and I'm not sure if there were 2 posts up there, but yeah. So go check it out. I don't know.
Dude, this is delicious.
Man. Now, has that got special shit on it?
This I put. What did I put on it? I think I put bullshit.
Oh, you put the bullshit on it. Excellent. So I guess, I mean, we're talking about the city, and whenever I talk about the city, I think of like the hole in the wall places, like awesome places to go and just grab something to eat. I always have like all these memories of hot dog stands, but what about like a burger place? Like, where's the best place to grab like a juicy burger and a brew, in your opinion?
Wow. Really wasn't getting into all the fancy burgers, whatever, until I moved out here. And before that, all you really had was like the Red Robin if you wanted something different. We do have a place out here in Yorkville where I live now. It's called Crusade Burger Bar. Phenomenal burgers. I mean, if you get a chance, they've got they got a Facebook page. They do a special burger of the week, and it's something they'll have like a ghost pepper aioli on there, or I had a burger there. It was a 10-ounce burger with a pork chop on top, with slaw, onion rings. I mean, these things that these guys come up with, it's truly amazing. And
Wow.
then even their shakes. I mean, they're non-alcoholic shakes, but these shakes, it's the mason jar full. Then they've got like an ice cream sandwich, and then a brownie, and then Rice Krispie treats, and you're waiting for this thing just to fall over. But take a look. They've got a web page. They've also got a Facebook group. Crusade Burger Bar in Yorkville. Really good burgers.
Check it out, Brett. If you can grab a link to that, that would be awesome. We'll pin it up on the screen if we can get to it. Yeah,
I got one.
Okay.
I gotta go to run it. So there's I don't think it's actually too far from you, Wally. Burlington, Illinois. Might be like an hour away. There's a place called Mott's Lounge. And I used to work there, and I'm not saying this because I used to work there, but they had a burger there. That every Christmas they did this because they would smoke like 6 turkeys and stuff and like freeze things. But they would do like a huge thing of pulled pork. They'd make a 1-pound burger, and then they put like the turkey on it. Then they put ham on it, bacon on it, pulled pork, lettuce, onion, tomato, and this thing was a matcha. They called it the Santa burger. And I did my traditional, and then I sat there and I got a PBR, a swamp water, and a shot of Jameson. And
What's in swamp water?
I don't know the ingredients for it, Dave. This has been a recipe from theirs since the 70s.
It tastes like Mountain Dew.
Like Ecto Cooler. It kind of looks and tastes like Ecto Cooler, but they actually have a limit on how many they'll serve somebody because of how strong they are.
Oh, okay.
Limit too. But the thing is, you don't realize how strong this is when you're drinking it. But it goes great with this burger. And so I drank that. I inhaled this burger. And then the regulars, this guy Squiggy, is like jaw dropped looking at me. He's like, I'm like, what? And he goes, you ate that whole thing so quick. And you drank the swamp water, had a beer and a shot, and you're still standing. I'm like, I want a nap.
I mean, I guess you needed that giant sandwich, right, to take care of the swamp water, the shot, and the beer, right? So that you could get back in the car. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know if I have any crazy burgers off the top of my head. There's a place that I've been dying to go in the city. Frank was talking about it last time. I think it's called Au Cheval. I think it's called Au Cheval, something like that. But people wait in line for hours to grab a burger from there. Hopefully, once all this stuff gets back to normal, I can go into the city, stand in line for an hour next to somebody, and get one of those burgers and go grab a beer somewhere at one of the local watering holes or something. But that's one that I'm for sure wanting to try one of these days.
Definitely worth looking into.
Yeah. They're I forget if he said that they were ranked #1 in the U.S. or they're definitely in the top 10.
Wow.
So yeah, check it out. So okay, yeah. So another thing I was thinking about with this episode too was a while ago I had like one of these amazing steak sandwiches, and I think it was like one of my own creations where I just I had some leftover steak, I had like a hoagie roll type thing, and I put some horseradish on there, maybe with some onion. It was just truly like a hybrid thing that I created. But I was thinking back on that, and it's like, man, oh, there's a cat here. Our kitty's here. I was thinking back on that, and I was like, you know what? It would have been awesome to just have like a nice glass of like bourbon with that, or maybe some whiskey. What would you guys do? Does that sound like that would be like something you would do too, or?
That would be great. One other thing, I don't know. Before I got into bourbon, I've only been into bourbon for 3 or 4 years now. I'm actually really new to it. But I've forever been into tequila. And I don't do shots. I love tequila on the rocks. So a nice tequila on the rocks. You got a nice bold flavor, yet smooth. I actually have 3 different tequilas on my bar for what I'm in the mood for. So, like I said, you take a bold sandwich, you can pair it up with a bold drink, and you're not going to lose out on either end.
Yeah, I love me some tequila. Hey, Ryan, I think there's a little bit of echo on your side. I'm not sure if it's I know you're not wearing your headphones right now, but it might be the speakers. I'm just putting you on mute real quick. Yeah, no, I for sure I really want to try and like maybe have some like, I don't know. I'm a big Four Roses guy. Love Four Roses, but I have to figure out like something else to go to. My buddy Chris, he's got like all these different bourbons, huge bourbon guy. He's always sharing something new with me. I can never remember the names, but they're all just so flavorful and good. But whenever I'm thinking of like a nice like steak sandwich, like something you'd really kind of spend a little extra money on if you're at a restaurant, I don't know why I just go to that bourbon or like maybe even smoky, like I don't know. I like that peaty aftertaste. For some reason, I just want that, and I don't know if it's because I want like the char from the grill or something like that. But I feel like it would be a good combo.
And talking about the PD aftertaste, I mean, there's your good intro to back it up with Scotch. I mean, Scotch is, you're not going to get the sweetness with bourbon, which is what bourbon is notoriously known for. You got that sweet flavor behind it. Scotch, if you just want that peat flavor behind it, I mean, that's the way to go. And then you talk about adding smokiness to the drink. I mean, Ryan was talking about having the old fashioned, but I just had a smoked Manhattan. And honestly, I thought these drinks were a gimmick. I thought that they were just adding the smoke to it, and it was kind of fancy, and you just see the cool smoke trailing off their glass. I was floored with just how much smoke flavor gets infused in that drink. So
yeah,
next time you're out somewhere and they have a smoked version of the old fashioned or Manhattan, I'd highly recommend it.
So how do they do that? Do they like light a small fire, then like tent it, or like how do they do that?
There's a couple different ways to do it. They actually, for the home bar, they sell it's like a glass topper. So you take your rock glass and it'll sit on top, and it's got like, the whole thing's made of wood, and the center portion's built up, and you just hit a torch at it, and the smoke gets drawn down into the glass. You just let it sit there for a few seconds, pull the top off, you're ready to go. At the bar, what they do is they have a larger plate, and you set your drink on it, and there's like a glass dome that covers it, and on the side they have a pile of wood chips that they're hitting the smoke to, and it travels in and fills up that whole dome. But like I said, I thought it was a gimmicky thing, almost how you put dry ice in a drink, and for Halloween or whatever.
Yeah.
But wow, I was floored. I mean, huge smoky flavor.
Huh. That's cool. Yeah, I've had some smoked beers before where they call them smoked beers, but I mean, they obviously smoked like whatever, I don't know, whatever they were throwing in there. Sometimes they just put actual smoke flavoring. Like, you don't know nowadays. I mean, it could be anything, but it's really an interesting thing. I don't know why I gravitate towards like the peaty drink, but I do. Yeah, Ryan, how's your speakers doing now?
I think we should be good now.
Okay,
is it better?
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
I can hear a little like back, but oh no, it's gone now. It's gone completely.
I think it's because I had my computer located.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
But speaking of smoked, bourbon smoked pork chops.
Oh.
With 4 roses, Andy.
Ooh. Bourbon smoked pork chops with so you create like a caramelized sauce with the 4 roses, and then you dribble it on,
air overnight before you throw it in the smoker. And then I have one other smoked. It's tequila infused smoked mango habanero chicken jerk.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
All right, so Ryan, get my email address, and I need that recipe.
All right, yeah, I got it written down. I can send it to you.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I got one other one. It was so because I got big into making jerky, and I started I know this is off track, but with the booze infused blueberry it was ghost pepper blueberry bourbon beef jerky strips.
Really?
Yep. But I'm still working on the barbecue sauce for that to infuse with it. So, but I feel like that would go good on with pairing with the sandwich.
James here has got a good one. Rosemary smoked bourbon goes well with steak, seafood, pasta, whatever. Yeah, I agree. I love rosemary, like really in anything. But rosemary smoked bourbon, that sounds interesting. A lot of flavor there.
I've recently got an opportunity to try a couple things. One was I had lavender vodka, and I just didn't know what to expect from that. I'm thinking lavender is, air freshener or perfume or whatever, but you'd be amazed at some of these floral flavors or some of these spices and the way they infuse into the drinks. One of my favorite drinks I had, my wife and I went to this restaurant called Hula Hands. It's a chain, they're around.
Yeah.
And during the summer, they had this drink, and I even forget the name, but I liked it so much, I had to ask them. I said, okay, I need to know how to make this. And it's equal parts of Cabo Wabo Blanco tequila, Malibu rum with a splash of sour, but it goes into a glass where you crushed basil into it. And I'm thinking, okay, I love basil, I love pesto and all that. I'm like, and I just could not picture the flavor of pesto in a drink. And then I had it, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so good.
It's crazy, like the science behind flavor profiles and stuff like that, and how they figure that stuff out. It's like, is there just a guy sitting around like making really bad drinks until they figure it out?
I have a little trick that a lot of as a bartender for years, like one trick I figured out, I think it was like my second or third year in the bartending, is I stopped going by taste when I was like trying to create something new. Like our team of bartenders we had at this one bar I worked at, I started doing it by smell rather than taste. And that's how I would think, okay, is this going to work with that? And then next thing you know, like my drinks were just coming out better and I didn't know what I was making. I made the Sexy Captain, and this just worked out because I was working in a limited bar. So I was just doing everything by smell. So
there's actually science behind that, because they said that your sense of taste is actually 70% smell. That's why whenever you have a cold, you can't taste anything. It's because your sense of your smell, that's what rules it all.
It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Well, we're getting close to time. Believe it or not, we've already been on for 45 minutes. But I wanted to bring up a really cool sandwich that someone posted, and it actually ties back to, I think, our last episode where we were trying to figure out if sushi could be a sandwich. And one of our group members, David LaForce, sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong. I gotta share this. Look at this sandwich. It is a sushi sandwich that he made. I mean,
okay, David, I got a question. Did you make this specifically for us here?
Right?
I mean, I don't know. I'll have to reach out to him and find out the recipe on this thing. But I mean, it's pretty big. It looks pretty big. I don't think it's like a sushi roll on top of a sushi roll or something like that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Sandwich? No?
I think I need to get soy sauce, and I need to get him over here making that for me.
Normally you would say no, because a sushi roll normally does have the rice and entwined around it. But the fact that he actually pan fried the top and the bottom, making the rice, the actual bread product, so to speak, yeah, I think that's a sandwich.
I'll vote sandwich.
Yeah, I'm on board. And actually, we have a video that will be coming out soon. I haven't made it yet, but I will be making a ramen sandwich based off of the recipe that was, I think, shared by you, Wally.
Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, this is a dream come true.
And he would be the guy to make it.
I gave you the ramen too the other day.
Yes, you did. And I was telling Britt about how I was going to make that, and she's like, well, I want one too. So now I have to go get another packet of ramen.
Oh my God, 25 cents a pack at Walmart.
Yeah, no, I'm there. But for that sushi sandwich, for me, I would totally be drinking that, or drinking like a Sapporo or something like that. Like some sort of Japanese beer with that for sure. Would you guys agree? Or
sake.
sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Ryan, you could do a Sapporo, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, and a shot of sake, because you're like a beer in a shot kind of guy. So you could have your sushi sandwich with some Sapporo and a sake shot.
Yeah. Or, martini and a pickleback.
Okay,
You always
martini.
leave me
Martinis,
speechless.
gin or vodka?
I usually go vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big gin.
The only way I like my gin is with juice.
Gin and juice.
I kid you not. I've had a few fun nights with that.
Actually, Great Lakes Distillery makes a really good gin. That's the only gin I've ever liked so far.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, they make a good gin. All righty. Well, we've got like 10 minutes left here, so I'm going to kind of do our last final. Oh, what's my?
That's like a sushi guy.
Oh, David's on with us actually right now. What does he say? Oh, I've done a ramen crusted chicken. Okay. So you'll have to let me know what you think, David, once I get this video out here. I'm anxious to make it. I hope it's crunchy, but yeah, I'm anxious to try the ramen as bread. Thanks for pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last 10 minutes ish here, I wanted to get kind of your final, like, this is the best booze and sandwich pair you've ever had. What is the best sandwich and booze pair you think you've ever had so far?
Wow.
I know. So it's like almost a trick question, right? Because you're limited to this one drink and this one sandwich over. I mean, there's so many possibilities, like we've said, of flavors and things like that.
I think that the one that stands out most, and maybe it wasn't necessarily the best pairing, but for simply because it was so memorable, because this is the beer that really got me interested into the craft beers. Back when Goose Island was still just their own little brewery, they came out with and bottled just oatmeal stout. And it was phenomenal. It had great flavor. It was rich. It was thick, and I had that. And God, it was some kind of steak sandwich, but I couldn't even tell you exactly about the sandwich. It was the first time I had this oatmeal stout. Maybe before that, during the day, the only thing you really had available for stout was Guinness was locally available, and not that Guinness is bad, but with Guinness, you're getting a nice, creamy, kind of light. It's my wife wouldn't taste it at first because she thinks a dark beer is automatically heavy and filling. And some of them, they might be filling, but they actually taste a lot lighter than you'd think they were. But this oatmeal stout just knocked me on my butt, and I was floored by it.
Yeah, those oatmeal stouts are really good. I can't. The hardest thing for me with a stout is that I can't really pick out my absolute favorite, and I don't know if it's just because of how rich they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that sounds fantastic. Ryan, what about you? Anything stand out for you?
Yes, the German chocolate cake by Shock Top with an ice cream sandwich.
With an ice cream sandwich. Okay.
Yeah,
all right, I'm gonna remember that one. Yeah.
What about you, Andy?
For me, I don't know if I've gotten there yet, to be honest. It's just so weird. When I was writing out that question to ask at the end here, I was like, wow, I don't know if I'll have an answer by the time of the live cast, and I don't know if I do have an answer. I'm still kind of looking for it, I think, which is. Does that sound like kind of almost adventurous? Maybe that's a new video series.
It's good to have goals, Andy. It's good to have goals.
Maybe I just don't want to stop somewhere. I just want to keep drinking and eating sandwiches. But yeah, nothing that really comes to mind, but, well, this was an awesome episode. I loved this episode by far. This is like, I think one of the most interesting topics I think we've had so far, as far as like talking about different flavors and how things pair together. Recipes and learning about seasonings called bullshit. And I
Right?
mean, we have touched all corners of the earth at this point.
But you watch me cook too and try something interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And you discovered something new with homebrew beer. I mean, You've got a whole box of it left.
No, I don't.
Oh, well, okay, never mind.
Number 5.
Well, thanks so much again, Wally, for joining us. I really hope you had fun, and we hope to have you again.
Oh, this was a blast. And, thing is that this is a discussion that can go on forever. I mean, you could have just a bourbon version of it, a beer version. I mean, this is a great time.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. And anyone that's watching, there is a link in the description of this video on Facebook. But if you want to look up Wally's group, just search for "It's Better with Booze" in the search bar there, and it should pop up as the first one. Make sure you get that "it's" with the contraction, because it'll be the first one that pops up for you. So yeah,
awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just kind of some closing things here for everybody. Again, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great holidays. If you go and check out our Etsy shop, let me see if I can find the link here. If you check out our Etsy shop, we have 15% off right now. We have some pretty fun shirts for different sandwiches and things out there. Hoping to get more out there soon. If you do want to get things by the holidays, I think this is your cutoff week for putting those orders in. So check that out. Otherwise, I'm going to leave the 15% running for the rest of this year, in case anybody wants anything with a little bit of a discount. You can also expect probably another contest here for the holidays, probably around Christmas time, maybe around New Year's. We'll see. Maybe we can kind of pair up with Wally's page and do like a sandwich booze photo contest or something like that, and see what everybody comes up with.
Yeah, maybe we could, and then Switch Visions will even jump in on that one.
There you go. It sounds good to me. And as always, thanks again for contributing to the page and just being a part of this. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy it, and spread the word to your friends and family. If they like sandwiches, they like finding out cool new recipes and things like that too. Check us out, and we'll see you guys here probably in the new year.
Wait, I got one more announcement. Next week, Friday, December 11th, if you go over to my other page, Switch Visions, we are doing a live painting that week on Friday at 6:00. So come check us out too. And then you might see Brittany and Andy on that page sooner than later too.
Yeah, I'll add this on here so everybody can see how it's spelled. Switch Visions. Is that a Facebook page?
Yes.
Or is that okay? Yeah.
We have a Facebook page, and we'll be streaming through Facebook next week.
Awesome. Well, everybody look that up. Look up Wally's page. Everybody have an awesome, safe, and happy, healthy holidays. Man, that was a mouthful. But thanks so much again, Wally and Ryan. As always, thank you for being you. And Brittany, thank you for being you.
Thank you, Brittany. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.